Hi, this is the first video in a tutorial series that is a Python beginner tutorial. There's plenty of them on the internet, but this one is mine, and this is also part of a longer series that I'm going to make that is intended to take somebody from knowing nothing about programming to be able to make their own RPG or similar type video game, which is pretty advanced, but we'll get there one step at a time, and I intend to cover many of the more difficult concepts of making a video game, not just the beginning stuff. We'll do the beginning stuff, but we'll get to things like procedural generation and game AI and pathfinding and light and sight systems and all those cool things that for some reason seems to be lacking out there. But this particular tutorial or this particular tutorial series is not that. This is just a tutorial series for those that want to learn how to program using the programming language Python. I might be using video game examples or to explain things and video game type exercises, but those are fine for anyone. Doesn't matter if you want to work with video games or not. If you want to learn Python, this is the place for you. Programming video games requires a good understanding of how to combine internal logic with external interfaces, and that's useful anyway, no matter who you are. So let's get right into it. Let's talk a little bit about how to learn. I just want to cover a couple of important topics that I think people need to know. That's why I make tutorials to talk about things that I wish that I knew when I started. So let's talk about the top here: motivation versus discipline versus habits. So motivation is good. Obviously, if you're watching this video, you probably have some motivation right now. You're ready to sit down and get to work. Good. Use that for what it's worth. And by that I mean try to make a schedule for yourself where you can work same time every day or same time every other day. Set aside 1 hour, 2 hour, maybe 4 hours, right? Figure out some way to get that into your daily schedule and plan it ahead of time. It's very, very difficult, at least for me, to go, oh, today I'm going to work. No, typically I go, this is what my week is going to look like, and on Monday I'm going to do this, on Tuesday I'm going to do that, on Wednesday I'm going to, and then kind of follow through. For me, follow through becomes much easier. But motivation veins. It veins away, and suddenly you're 2, maybe 3 weeks in, and you just don't feel like doing it anymore. You don't, and it's hard to sit down and actually do it. So this is when discipline comes in. But you don't have discipline. You have to cultivate discipline, right? So the way you have to think about it is that you want to get to having a habit. Once it's a habit, then you miss it when it's gone. Then it feels right. Then it kind of flows into your day. That's the goal. But to get from not being able to, not having done something like this at any time in your entire life, to making it part of your life, obviously that takes a little bit of time. In my opinion and in my experience, it's 6 weeks, maybe up to 12 weeks, which is 3 months. Now, that's cool. So you start with motivation, and then you need discipline to get over those weeks, and then it'll be a habit. So you know that as disciplined as you need to be, it's just for a period of time to get over it. Now, that's easier said than done. Problem is, as you get into it, and suddenly you're just not doing it, right? You wake up in the morning, you have breakfast, you're on social media and YouTube and stuff, and you say to yourself, I should really start working. Oh no, wait, I just have to do something a bit more. So and procrastination kind of kicks in. So that is more of a headspace problem. You're kind of in the wrong headspace for learning. So here's my advice, my little hack, little trick, okay? Do some chores. No, I'm serious. Do some chores, right? Do the dishes, or take a load out of the washing machine and fold clothes. Just do one chore for 20 minutes. You can bring your phone, you can watch YouTube, but it kind of it's boring, but that's kind of meditative, and it kind of stills you. It's a little bit of low-tech work that kind of resets your mind a little bit as you're essentially just shutting your mind off for 20 minutes. And then you've done it, and then you feel good, like, yay, I did something. And then you have that high, and then you can take that right into work, because now your brain is in the mode of, ooh, let's accomplish things, let's do that. And you want to translate that into a good work habit. All right, I'm sorry, I talk a lot, but I feel that's important to say. Action lists. So when I first started, more for motivation, I wrote down the things that I wanted to learn, right? Python and Pygame and all the different technologies and all that, and kind of where I wanted to end up. And I printed it out, and I hung that list on the wall. So at any time when I would just look at that list, I'd feel motivated, because there were exciting things that I would get to as I was crossing things off the list as it went down. Now, that was my understanding of my journey before I really knew what the journey would look like. So I would keep adding things and moving things around. That's normal. But it, as an exercise, it's kind of like a vision board for coders or something. Speaking of boards, all right, whiteboards. As you can see, I have a giant whiteboard here right above my workstation, and I absolutely recommend it. It's a great way to being able to draw out the things that you're working on. You take with different colors, and you make boxes and lines and all that, and you plan out your programs. Now, in the beginning, this might be a bit expensive. I just bought one of these small ones. That was like $20, and I placed it just right next to my computer, and it allowed me to kind of turn around and plan things out, especially when working with video games, when I had to work with vectors and vector math. I'm not very good at math, so for me, visualizing everything was super helpful. And we're back. So lastly, I want to talk about this plastic platypus aka rubber duck debugging, or learning by teaching. So this is the pedagogical principle that I believe in when it comes to how I make my tutorial. Right? This and doing things. I like to go through things twice, but I'll get to that. So learning by teaching means that while you're learning, you're pretending as if you're taking notes for your own teaching class that you're going to teach somebody else later. Which is a kind of an interesting headspace, because you become more observant of what you're learning and how you're learning. Now, the person that you're going to teach it to is yourself of the future. Now, imagine, for instance, that you start this and then life gets in the way, and a year later you want to pick it up. So the concepts will still be there. You still remember how, like the logical concepts of it, but the syntax and all the detail will be gone. So we're going to set up our teaching process in such a way as, working towards making cheat sheets that are easy to look up for yourself once you've kind of what's called grokked the how things actually work. So grok is a super nerdy term. I believe it comes from Star Trek, and it means to understand something fully, to understand something so well that it's natural. It's like, oh, I grok it now. Which is, the level of learning something you really want and is necessary for coding. Coding is you can't really learn coding halfway. Once you learn a coding concept, you have to use it, and if you don't fully understand it, it's gonna come out wrong, which is gonna happen a lot. Okay, I talk a lot. The basics of Python. Let's set things up right now. Let's set things up. Go to your desktop folder and create a new folder called projects. And let's go into that folder. So this is where you're going to keep all your projects, all your games, everything you're working on, every little thing. And trust me, in time, it's going to accumulate. It's going to be a lot. Now, in this folder, make another folder called tutorials. So this is where all your tutorials will go. Now in here, make another folder, and trust me on this, called Aurelio's Tutorials. That's my name. That's mine. And here's where you're going to put my files. Now, this might seem like a lot for you. Why not just put the files in the desktop? No, trust me. You want this to be as orderly and as organized as it can possibly be, because, again, in a year, you want it to be easy to find. So, with that in mind, let's make a file inside that folder called pythonbasics.py. Remember that last name. It's the first name of a file is before the dot, last name of a file is after the dot, even if the last name has dots in it, which isn't the case here. So python_basics.py. Super simple, and it's in the right folder, so it's super easy to understand. And then we open that file in our IDE or text editor, whichever one you have, and it's going to kind of look like this. All right. Next video, we're going to start typing code.